So I'm back in the field again. I have just taken the Effidol pill. The reason I've done that is because I just don't have time to play around with this stuff. This is second cut, as you can see. Maybe you can see, but you're about to see. And the reason I'm actually mowing it is because I have a poison ivy issue. This piece of ground was farmed by the property owner, and he was doing it organically. And herbicides are not an organic way to control weeds on these fields, so he decided he would give it up and take another piece of property that he has, which is fine by me. I'm all good with it. But my problem is I have, and it's not much, but here and there, every so often, there's just some weeds that are really tough to get under control. But as for second cut goes, I put ammonium sulfate on this, and the sulfate was, the only explanation I've got for the sulfate and the way it looks is the sulfate was dusty and it wouldn't spread quite right. So, yeah, I've got this striping issue, and you'll see that in a second here when I get around the corner, because I'll show it right up across the field. It was kind of annoying. Around the corner too fast. But you can see there's some striping involved here. Right there's a stripe, and it was ammonium sulfate. That was a hell of a bump. I should have both hands on this thing. But it was ammonium sulfate, and the sulfate was just dusty, and it didn't fling out to the sides as good as it should have. Just had really bad coverage, and it didn't matter. I used two different spreaders, my Newton Crouch and that Pequea that I got from Pequea. It just didn't seem to make a difference what it was. Yeah, look at this, I got a stripe there. It just didn't seem to make a difference what machine I was spreading it with. So I'm just going to have Timothy come out here, and he's going to TED this out as soon as he gets done where he's working, and then I'm going to try and get this stuff dry by tomorrow afternoon. But that poison ivy that's in there, it's a real bastard. If you mow it a couple of times and then hit it with 2,4-D, it'll take it out. So that's exactly what I'm going to do, and you can see it down there. It's all going to the mushroom barns. I'm not going to attempt to sell this to people to feed their animals. I'm not a cruel bastard, but yeah. Anyway, so that's what I'm up to, and that's what's happening, and hopefully Timothy shows up in the next 20 or so minutes, and you can catch him running the hay tedder over this stuff. Or maybe I'll just keep mowing this whole thing, and we'll get it all tedded out today, and hopefully get it baled tomorrow. But just like any other day as of late, I've got showers headed my way, and like I said earlier, I had to take the Effidol pill, and that's it. That's just it. So, yeah. Oh yeah, and don't forget, I have set up my Patreon account to accept the $5 donations for the extended content, or the uncut version of what I am doing on a daily basis. You can sign up for that, or you don't have to. I'm not putting a gun to your head. I don't care. One way or the other. If you want to see uncut, unedited versions of the same stuff that you see on my YouTube channel, you can donate and do whatever the hell it is you want. So, anyways, thanks again, and I hope you enjoyed the rest of it, and I'm sure I'll say something later on. Okay, so now I am about to say something else. Anyway, this hay, anybody that drove past it would recognize these fields. They're along 519, and they were as striped as a tiger or a zebra. The fertilizer spreaders, both of them, the Pequea and the Newton Crouch, both left horrendous striping in the field. The Pequea, I seem to be just a little bit too far away, but that didn't make any difference in the hay. I was about 5 feet too far apart, because, you know, these mowers are 45 or 15 feet, so 15 is 30, and then another 15 is 45. So it has a 40-foot spread pattern, and it was just touching on the 45. So I was 2.5 feet on either side, but there was no distinct little stripe in the middle that had no fertilizer. It all seemed about 10 feet wide in the middle,
was green as green could get, but the center, there was no, distinct yellowing of the field, which is kind of weird to me. And I know that wasn't because of the potash and sulfur, because Timothy used a Newton Crouch on the potash and the sulfur, and it wasn't that showing up late in the season. So this came off last night. I actually baled it. I mowed this the day before yesterday. It got rained on that night, which you'll see later in the series or in the next couple of videos how this turned out. And it just looks horrendous, and it needed to be done because I'm going to get fertilizer on it day after tomorrow, because Monday we're supposed to have some wicked rain, and I just don't want it to. I just really don't want it to be washed off the field. So, anyway, I got some updates for other things too. This weather has just been such a downer for everyone. It's amazing. So the hay that I baled yesterday on this particular farm, it was in that 25-30% moisture range. It will keep okay. It is going to go to the mushroom barn, a certain mushroom barn that takes this without any issues. The poison ivy that I spoke of will be completely deteriorated by the heat that is going to be generated by the curing process of this hay, because it is so damp. I mowed yesterday with two machines pretty near all day. We started at I don't know what time we started. We started at noon, and we mowed until somewhere around 5:30 with two machines. We knocked down about 150 acres, and that will get baled today. Teresa tedded it out yesterday, and she did a great job, made it nice and flat. She's off to church today because it is Sunday, and she will be back and possibly running the tedder. Here's Timothy. He's running the tedder on this. Like I said, it got rained on again. It got rained on the night that we mowed this, and he was going to go ted it out again, but I decided that he had more important things to do, like stack hay and get fertilizer sprayers ready to rock and roll. And, it's all good. But I pulled him off, put him on the stack wagon, and then Teresa, she took over for me or for him, and she tedded all day. I mean, it was just getting dark when she finished up last night, and I was loading out hay onto trailers. And we broke a wagon, which you're going to see that in a video, not the breaking part, but I think this morning I'll show you the damage of an inexperienced welder. Not that I was inexperienced at it, it's just that I didn't know as much then as I do today. And the faults of my welds caused a wagon to actually split in half as Cody was pulling it home last night. Now, this is the first time I've ever had this issue with a John Deere mower. And the reason that it did this was because the conditioner hood was so close to the pickup tines, and the amount of material that was going in there, it just couldn't grab it and bring it on around, which is really weird. So what I did was I just pushed it off to the next windrow, where Timothy could hit it really slow with the tedder and get it spread out. So, I would have to say that I was rather amazed that had happened. But anyway, so I hope this is an enjoyable video for y'all to watch. And I do have something else that I would like to talk about. And I think I'm going to do that in an upcoming video, because it's about trust, and it's about etiquette, and it's about people that want to take advantage of you, and it's for some of my viewers that actually have channels, and what to watch out for.
Okay, so that's like the first time that's ever happened with this mower. It just started pushing in front of the conditioning tines, or the tine conditioners. I am actually down to about 7 miles an hour mowing this grass. Timothy is running the Pequea tedder, the Pequea TT6101, which seems to be working quite wonderfully behind the 7530. I got some comments about it that it was throwing the hay into windrows, or the windrows were still evident when you look behind it. Well, I don't know. It looks pretty flattened out to me. I don't see anything that resembles a windrow. But yeah, in that video that I posted the other day, it does do that. It'll make it look like the windrow. It doesn't tear the windrow apart, which isn't entirely true. That hay's been pounded down by about 4 inches of rain and then a week's worth of growth through it, or almost 2 weeks worth of growth through it. And it's really tough conditions this year to get this hay up off the ground. But as you can see where he's tedding right now, it's just ripping it apart, flattening it right out. I mean, there is nothing. There's a windrow looking thing, nothing left. I think I'm gonna have to change the pitch of the conditioner on this thing. It's not feeding the way that it should. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to get out, and I've got the tine conditioner. Really super close. I want it to condition a lot, but that's causing problems when it's really super thick like this and low. The knives are new, but what's happening is it's throwing it up and it's hitting here. You see how shiny that is? So that's what's happening. It's not scooping it up, and here I've got a broken tine I didn't know about. That's a little warm, but they're all warm. Yeah, so I had my son Joe, he changed these blades out. And they're not bad at all. I don't know why that one. I think I had him flip that. But anyway, I'm going to raise that up, and then I'll show you what it's going to do. So you go over to this side here, and you just simply pull that, and you can pull it completely out of the way. And because he is tedding it out, I don't think I'm going to have any problems with it. Drying. So now you can see how much more open it is. It won't be pushing it. It'll throw it right back into the tine conditioners, which will get it out of the way. And I better hurry up because Mr. Tim has caught me. I mean, come on, tell me that thing don't work. Somebody told me I needed to go get a European one. Well, I think the American one works great. Anyway, yeah. Woo! We got through it. Look, chewed it right up. He did. He chewed that clump right up. It's gone. Gone. You can't even tell where it was. So it works. All you got to do is really just slow down a little bit. I'm not even running this thing at wide open speed, but we'll see what happens. Here we go.